Top of the second inning, and leading off for American Fork, Josh Rojas, the catcher. He's had a spectacular week in the state tournament as Cooper Hansen misses up and out for ball one. Waves on that outside pitch. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. And now the 1-1. Just fouled at the plate. They're staying away. The Rojas maybe a little off balance here. The 1-2. Fastball inside, lifted into center field. And that might fall in. Didn't see it. No one covered second. And heads up by Cooper Hansen to get there. As the middle infield bolt. Or pardon me, middle infield went out to go get that ball. And I don't know that Caden Miller ever saw it. As Rojas has that one fall in for a single. And I'll bring up the right fielder, Dax Newman. And Sawyer Hardman comes on to speed up. And Dax Newman comes up. Newman hit a triple last night. As he looks at ball one. Newman tripled, and then Watts followed it up with a two-run homer to right center field. As this lineup with AF, they are big, and they swing a good bat. And they have power to the alleys the opposite way. There's so many of their guys. As Hansen, and that was a decent move to first. And if you remember, we had that game one win for AF 3-2, was avenging a 5-1 loss at BYU earlier this year in the regular season. 1-0 misses. On a fun note, AF, that was the first win this year when scoring 3 runs or fewer. Getting that 3-2 win last night. And that's snapped down the second, not in time either. 3 balls and no strikes now to Newman. Or you said 2-1. He actually kind of turned and never went straight up, so we'll see what the pitch is here. A little confused everywhere. That one back into the screen. Let's see if Mr. Umpire flashes him one more time to straight on. So the scoreboard's got 2-2. And called strike 3. I apologize. We were all kind of off, so was Coach Ingersoll on that one. So a punch out to Dax Newman. And that's the first down of the inning. And that brings up the first baseman, Dax Watts. I mentioned Watts with a 2-run homer last night. As Hansen misses up and away. Again, hope you're enjoying your Memorial Day weekend, wherever you are, joining the stream. Been a fun week of baseball. And the 1-0. Called strike 1. This is the 14th game of the on-site portion of the 6A tournament. And the 1-1 from Hansen. And the count now 1-2. So Hansen goes here, ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2 lifted into shallow right field. Applegate there. Bright coming in as well, and Mitch Applegate. Lack of communication. Luckily, Bright pulled up just the last second to not completely throw that off, and Applegate able to go out and get it for the second down of the inning. That was dangerous. So now Davis Andrews, the designated hitter, comes to the plate with 1 on and 2 out. And that one misses wide. As Hansen's had to battle back. But all the batters he's seen as far, he's fallen behind every one of them. As he evens the count on that one. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Andrews. Tough falling behind. Especially we talk about pitch count stuff. And you know that this is probably going to be his last game. Don't think they're going to pull him before 35 pitches. Oh, in this inning. I'm behind all 4 this inning. But still, you eat up those pitches. Having to battle back. So a ball and a strike here. And that bender misses well wide. And the count now 2-1. Solid hit and run count. Coach Ingersoll wants to put him in motion. Andrews, the 8-hole hitter. You got Mascaro and then the top of the order coming up. 2-1. Wide of the plate. And moves the count to 3 balls and a strike. Hansen got to come back here down 3-1. And for Andrews, not getting fooled, 3-1. Fastball into the right side. Bright initially came in on it. It kept carrying. And a great job by Bright in right field. Able to get back to that ball and pull it in for the 3rd out of the inning. Hit on the screws by Andrews, but nothing doing. We go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. And we're scoreless. You're watching Game 2 of the 6A Championship Series on KSL Sports. Brings up Caden Miller, the center fielder. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Silverwolves as Miller swings through strike 1 and see if late clock settles down. Sometimes your starting pitcher takes about an inning, maybe inning and a third. They get settled into a groove. And this one hit well in the left center field. Going to get down. And that's going to get all the way to the wall. A leadoff double for the Silverwolves. Great start by Caden Miller. Moved him down in the order. It responds with a leadoff double. And now I'll bring up Zach Edwards. Edwards busted loose. He was hitless this week in the state tournament until last night. Had an infield single on Carpenter and then had a triple. A 2-run triple last evening. And this young man, a young sophomore, so promising. He doesn't look like a sophomore. That's kind of like what Carpenter looked like at that age. Same with Ingersoll. He played so much last year for Coach Applegate. An outstanding pitcher as well. But got injured. He's having to bounce back. And able to stay within himself. And all week long struggling from the plate. And to come through big last night. Kind of feel good for the young man as he looks at strike 1. The 0-1, up and out. And his ability to go the opposite field is not bad here with the submarine look from Laycock. You want to let that ball get into the zone, let it travel, and go the other way with it. And the 1-1 out of the zone as well. 2 balls and a strike. And the 2-1 misses off the plate. Caden Allred on deck. And then Remington Robbins, the left fielder rather, follows him. So 6-hole to Edwards, and then the very important bottom third, 7, 8, 9. As Edwards draws a walk, and there's 2 on. Last inning, Laycock gave up 2 walks to start the inning. Here, a double and owl walk. So 2 aboard for the catcher, Caden Allred. Allred was 2 for 3 last evening. Base hit could give Riverton the lead. Single to right and then single back through the box. In the infield from left to right is Jones, Ingersoll, Robbins, and Watts from left to right. As Laycock finds the outer part of the zone for strike 1. The outfield, Roberts, Carpenter, and Dax Newman from left to right. And the 0-1. Allred fouls it off down the line, so falls behind, no balls and 2 strikes. As Laycock, again, he struggled to find the zone in the first inning. Saw him walk Edwards on a 5-pitch at bat. Up 0-2. Lost speed pitch to the right side in the right center field. Newman's going to be there. They're going to test the arm. They will not. Oh, back door. Good idea. And Allred retired for the first down of the inning. So Remington Robinson now to the plate, the left fielder. So 1 out, double play depth up the middle. Corners are back. They're not holding on Edwards. That one's in there for a called strike. And now the 0-1 to Robinson is up. Ball and a strike. When you think about it before, we talked about pitching to contact, and so important. Crash Davis had it right. For all you're doing is looking for strikeouts. Your defense falls asleep. Pitching to contact, your defense works a lot more democratic. He was able to get soft contact after allowing the first 2 on. And looking to do the same here. He had that fly ball out in the right field. Does not advance the runner. And his job now, get the ground ball. If not, get some soft contact. Where they can't advance the runners. And the 1-2 goes the other way and foul. Nice job of fighting that off by Robinson. Or probably Robbins. Yeah, Ryder Robinson and Remington Robbins. Hope he had solid R's as a young kid. And now the 1-2. And he waves at that one for the second out of the inning. Nice pitch there by Laycock. A 1-2, he had a couple to burn. Make it enticing and keep it off the plate, and he did. He swung right through it. 2 outs and 2 on. And coming to the plate, the starting pitcher, Cooper Hansen. Looking to help his cause here. And that's off the plate. And now the 1-0 Misses inside. Top of the order coming up behind Hansen. Helping his cause any way on. Extend the inning, get to the top of the order where 1, 2, 3 could do some damage. Big for Laycock to come back here. And the 2-0 pitch. Hansen offers and fouls it out of play. And the 2-1 bounce. The count now 3 balls and 1 strike. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Cooper Hansen. And strike 2. The count is full. Don't blame him for the red light. Now he's got to protect. Anyway on. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners are going to be in motion. The 3-2 fouled off down the left field line. Good battle here, the 2 starting pitchers. So we've seen guys battle with 2 strikes all week long. Mets went through 156 baseballs on Monday. The 3-2 misses inside, and the bases are loaded. Great at bat from the pitcher, Cooper Hansen. And now to the top of the order as he's able to bridge. And that brings up Mac Bright, the right fielder. And the speed-up runner is Carson Moody. So again, Mac Bright, the right fielder. Saw that 3rd out last inning. First step was in. No. Able to get back and make the catch. He's played a good right field this week. He's also swung a terrific bat. And that first pitch from Laycock is in there. That's the hard part. Laycock's been erratic in the strike zone, but when he has the ability to get in there, it just even that keeps hitters off balance. Because he's a very good pitcher. But can be racked with his control. That one gets inside, and Bright offers on it and fouls it away. So quickly, 0-2. And it's tough when you're a coach and your pitcher's been in and out of the zone and hasn't found his consistency. Up 0-2, you hear me say all the time, 1 to burn. Always makes it tough. As he did. He plunked him. Hit batsman, going to bring in the first run. So for the first time, Riverton leads in the championship series. And unofficially, all my research I've done, their last championship appearance was against Bingham. They lost 8-0 and 9-0. So to my knowledge, going all the way back to 2010 and their appearances in the state championship, that'd be the first run in the state championship. And only 1 hit. So 1 run on 1 hit. And 6 base runners. So that brings up Parker Goff. And you know what this feels like is the Lehigh game yesterday. Lehigh scored 6 runs, was on 1 hit. Hit batsman, errors, and they made it happen. And here's Parker Goff, and we talk about swinging a good bat. Parker Goff has certainly done that this week. The 1-0, he's able to. Okay, I said hold off. Looks a strike 1. Again, as I mentioned, these guys are crowding the plate. And so it's a little deceiving of where the inside part of the zone is. The 1-1. Back through the box. That's off of Laycock. That's going to bring in a run. An absolute rocket from Parker Goff. And they're going to take a minute to come out and check on Laycock as he took that right off the upper thigh. An absolute shot. And the bases remain loaded, and it's 2-0 Riverton. We're talking about hitting on the screws. I mean, that absolutely. That's a batting cage off the L screen. Infield single. And that's what's hard for Parker. On the book, I'm going to go short line, a little INF RBI. I would have played it too if it doesn't go off Laycock's leg. So that's going to bring up Sam Beck, and hopefully Laycock, I think he's probably fine. They caught him on it's just a flesh wound. Caught him on the fleshy part of the thigh. Bobby Bacala couldn't do that in The Sopranos when he was trying to help out the rapper when Tony was in a coma. But Parker Goff got him there. I believe he got him on the right leg. So Lisa was on his plant leg, the left. Jake Taylor, I don't know if Roger Dorman would have stayed in front of that. None of this old A stuff, yeah. He'd owe him 20 sit-ups. So, Laycock's good. But just to add a little more terror to it, here comes a great bat for Riverton in Sam Beck. And a little up and down. He had a great start to the week. He's had his moments. We mentioned driven in 6 runs with a 3-run home run on Monday. He's left some guys on base as he gives a heavy swing on that one. Don't blame him. The Laycock just wants to find the zone after getting hit. Swung through it. Strike 1. The 0-1. Fastball again. And he was late on it. And quickly ahead here for Laycock. 0-2. So now for Beck is shorten it up. As I always mention, Mark Guba on the Angels broadcast reminds, hey, as he's learned from one of the best to do it, George Brett, bases loaded, still looking for a single. As that one well off the plate. So George Brett talked about all the time, I got up with bases loaded, I wasn't looking for a grand slam, just want a single. And now the 1-2. Again, well wide of the plate. Evens it up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, Laycock nowhere to put him. Beck can still set dead red here. Protect on the breaking stuff. Looking for a fastball. And it's wide of the plate. Now he's got to feed him. Load up that back leg, and everyone going to be in motion here. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and a full count. Everyone will be in motion. And it's wide of the plate. Cannot defend a walk. And that's a Sam Beck draws, and another run comes in, and it's 3-0 Riverton. And that could be the day for Laycock. Bottom of the second inning, coming out have a meeting. We'll be right back. You're watching the 2022 6A Championship Series. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and bases loaded here for Tyler Barton, his 3rd consecutive 2 out at bat. Looking to come through. Breaking stuff. I try to be really objective. That looked like strike 3. Calls it ball 3. So full count. Runners are going to be in motion here. Full count, 2 outs. Everybody goes. Barton fouls that off down the left field line. That was a beautiful breaking pitch from Orton. But we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, bases loaded in a 3-0 game. A crooked number inning for the Silverwolves. Looking to extend it. Misses up, and a walk in, another run. The merry-go-round has started and having a hard time finding a way to stop it. In the inning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walks. That's 4 walks and a hit by pitch. When my coach mentor Jeff Cisneros at the meeting, he said, a hit batsman is a walk. I can't stop it. As that brings up Caden Miller, who led off the inning with a double. As they have batted around in the inning. And only 1 base hit in the inning, which was the leadoff double. And all runs have come in with 2 outs as well. Swings through that one. 0-2. There's Orton trying to end the run. The 0-2 again wide of the plate. Biggest thing up to 0-2 not to give away something on a pass ball. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And now one back up the middle. Ingersoll won't get to it. It's going to plate 2. How about the inning as they go back door, and that throw got away. But how about the inning from Caden Miller? Led the inning off with a leadoff double, and now comes through with a 2-run single, and it's 6-0 Riverton. And that brings up Zach Edwards as you can close the book on Laycock. And that one wide of the plate. And the hard one on Laycock, you'll see the total runs of 6. But the unearns, only 1 earned run of the 6. That'll make your stomach turn. And Edwards timed it up, fouls it into the screen. Edwards walked and scored. I mean, here's what's crazy. 2 guys got on, fly out to right, strikeout, walk, hit batsman. Infield single off the leg, walk, and then the 2-run single. As Edwards, big healthy hack on that one, 1-2. And here's the thing for American Fort. They've scored 6 or more runs 24 times on the season. 10 or more, 13 times. So they got plenty of power to come back here only in the 2nd inning. We got a long ways to go here in game 2. As that one's bounced and gets away, and they'll advance the runners. So take the force away with 2 outs. And Barton nearly backdoored, but that was because Orton had fallen asleep. Wasn't covering the plate. 21 times AF has scored 6 runs, and you've heard me say that if you're going to beat AF, you're going to have to score runs. Not going to hold down this offense. And Edwards can certainly deepen the hole here. But Orton's got to stop the bleeding on the 2-2 pitch. Smash into left field. It's going to plate 2. And that's 4 RBIs in the series for Zach Edwards. You want to learn about resiliency? Young man dealing with injury. He can't pitch, can't play in the field. He can only hit. He was 0 for coming into the series, and he's now got 4 RBIs in 2 games. And it is 8-0 Riverton. And now Caden Allred comes to the plate. Flew out to ride earlier in the inning. That one fouled away. So Edwards got to be smart over there at first base. Last night against Carpenter, he got caught going on first movement. Was close at second base, but was thrown out on the 1-3-6 putout. And this one down the line in the right field. Newman going to give chase, but won't get to it, into the bullpen. But only in the second inning. A long ways to go with a lot of offense on both sides. Bender misses. Five walks in the inning, and all of them scored. Then Allred fists this one out in the right center field, and Edwards will hold up. Not going to test the arm of Dax Newman. So put him back on. Runners on first and second. As Allred avenges his flyout. So he's aboard, moves the runner up. And that brings up Remington Robbins, the left fielder. So a speed-up runner coming in for Caden Allred, number 15, and that is Easton Hicks. So again, Remington Robbins, he is the last out of the inning. He went down on strikes for the second out, and after that, remember there was 2 on when he struck out. Cooper Hansen, the pitcher, worked his way to a walk. Bright was hit by a pitch. Parker Goff took one off the leg of Laycock and drove in a run with bases loaded. Then Sam Beck walked, bringing in a run. Barton walked, brought in a run. Caden Miller then hit a 2-run single. And then Edwards with a 2-run single. And here we are. Breaking pitch, called strike. And here's a fun note for Riverton. 12-1 when scoring 8 or more runs. Their only loss was a 17-13 loss to Bingham in their 3-game set against the Miners. And now the 1-2. Chop to the right side. And Orton able to get out of the inning. But how about it? A snowman in the second for Riverton. We go to the top of the third. American Fork with a 8-run hole. You're watching Game 2 of the 2022 6A Championship. Top of the third inning in Game 2 of the 6A Championship Baseball Series. 9-1-2 due up for American Fork. So Mascaro, Robinson, and Ingersoll. And the biggest thing, if you're AF and Coach Ingersoll is reminding them, hey, there's not a 8-run swing. You have to get guys on and move them around. And if you're Hansen, biggest thing is continue to pitch contact. Let your defense work behind you. It's a healthy lead, but doesn't mean you get reckless. But there's no reason you have to try to overpower people and make them swing it. Mascaro's first at bat, the left fielder. And that one misses inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. It's a long delay between innings here for Hansen. And this one hit well in the left field, but right at the left fielder. I was tailing away. Oh, he dropped it. Comes in now the glove. Sliding attempt. Couldn't corral it. Out there with Remington Robbins. And that's a leadoff single for Mascaro. So one aboard at the top of the order. Had it there for a second. That's tough to go down to the ground and get that and hold on, especially when it's tailing away. That ball held up. So the third hit. And now top of the order. Looks at ball one, and that's the thing here for Coach Ingersoll. Hey, got to have guys on with the top of the order coming up. Everything for American Fork. He's out to score all 8 runs in the inning. As he looks at ball two. It's always an interesting part of how managers handle big leads. Sometimes when you're the team with the lead, you end up using more pitchers than you planned because you just don't want to allow momentum. And you sometimes switch pitchers and go relief to try to stem the tide, and you end up burning a lot of arms. But Coach Applegate, as you mentioned before, this is game 5 of the state tournament since Monday, and they've only used 3 pitchers. Someone roped the left field and foul. Hanson won a complete game. Nelson did it twice. As it's 2 balls and a strike here to Ryder Robinson. And Remington Robbins, a left fielder, threw a complete game against PG to get to the championship series. Should be 3 balls and a strike. And a runner goes. That's ball 4. It's ball 4. Going to put him back at second base. The count was wrong on the board. That was ball 4. They're going to put him back on second base. Our scoreboard was incorrect. Yeah, they got him back there, so everything's good. And for the first time this week, I'm not running the scoreboard. Intern Preston isn't running the scoreboard, but our helper is helping our scoreboard today. And he's on it. So everything's straight on the screen. As Ryder Robinson's aboard with a walk. So runners on first and second, and no outs here, Fisher Ingersoll. So you don't want to get loose here if you're Hanson. Fisher singled in the first. Has plenty of power and loves swinging the bat here at UVU. As he looks at strike 1. And the crazy thing with the call him out at second base, they could have tagged him as he got up and started to leave, but didn't. And that would have been a complete umpire mess up, right? Called him out and lets him go. So probably would have grounded it back. Here's the 0-1 as Ingersoll looks at that one. I mentioned that championship game last year. Ingersoll in the first inning hit a solo shot. His second time up hit a 2-run bomb, both of them to left field. And interestingly enough, it was the 8-0 game in Game 2 for the championship series a year ago. The 1-1 misses up. So 2 balls and a strike to Fisher. A chance to drive in a run. 2-1 misses in. That ball was supposed to be outside and came back inside, and Ingersoll fouls it off, evens the count at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, no one out, and runners on first and second. And missed up and away. So full count Ingersoll. And that one back to the screen. Talk about the win earlier this year for Riverton at BYU against AF. To carry that one, I believe it was 5-1. These teams always have fun games. We talked about the last chance tournament quite a bit where AF won that, but they played a game against Riverton where they scored 8 runs in the first inning, I believe it was, and Sam Beck hit a grand slam in that game. And Riverton made a run back as Ingersoll swings through that for the first out of the inning as he goes down on strikes. So both teams know they can't hold down each other. We talked about it even last year. We did a game at Riverton early in the year. It was an 11-7 win for the Cavemen, but they scored 10 of their 11 runs in the 6th and 7th inning. Trey Roberts was our Heidemann Associates player of the game that day. As this ball through the left side for Easton Jones, going to play to run. The third baseman comes through with an RBI single. C.J. Mascaro, who led the inning off with a single, comes in to score. Moves Robinson to second. And the RBI to Easton Jones. And now Caden Carpenter to the plate. Josh Rojas on deck. Carpenter flew out to Sam Beck in his only plate appearance. That one misses the zone. And now the 1-0 from Hansen. Roped into right field by Carpenter. And that's going to bring in a run and move the runner from first to third. So 2 runs now. Talked about you going to have to score runs to beat AF. This is not over an 8-run inning for Riverton by any measure. As Riverton coach Stephen come out and have a little chat with Hansen to see if they can calm him down. Runners on the corners and 1 out. Meeting in the Mines, and we'll be right back. So that brings up Josh Rojas. With runners on the corners. We know he's got long ball power. Hansen's pitch in there for a called strike. Rojas singled. In his only plate appearance just last inning. Play to run with the base hit here. And that one misses in. So ball and a strike with Carpenter at first. And Easton Jones at third. One, 1. Inner part of the zone, strike 2. Mentioned Rojas hit a 2-run home run against Farmington on Tuesday night. As Hansen trying to keep him close. Had a 2-run home run against Lone Peak on Monday. The 1-2. Able to foul it off. We'll do it again. A ball and 2 strikes. Rojas was 1 for 3 last evening. Left side and foul. And once again, stay at a ball and 2 strikes. Good crowd on hand here for game 2. It was balmy and warm last night here at the ballpark. A 3-2 win for AF. A dramatic win for the Cavemen, setting up a chance for them to bring home a championship if they pull off a win here. They'll have to climb out of the hole as Rojas wears that one. And now the bases are loaded. So I'll bring up Dax Newman. Mentioned in the middle of that inning, you take a breath. You don't say a deep breath. You just take a breath when you're Riverton and bust through, played 8 runs. Certainly assisted on some inconsistent pitching and some walks, a hit batsman. But 8 runs on the 5 hits for Riverton. As that brings up Dax Newman, the right fielder. And an 8-2 ball game. Fastball down. So one of the biggest comebacks in the championship game history. Bingham rallied from a 9-run deficit versus Taylorsville in the 03 championship. Pitch misses inside. I believe that was Coach Cramblitt's last appearance with Taylorsville in the championship. They'd won the 02 title, 2000. Taylorsville only been in the championship game twice since then. I misspoke earlier this week. And now one lifted out of play. That's before we went to the championship series as well. Remember, it was double elimination. You had to beat them twice, which you had to do anyway, but you had 1 loss and no chance to have guaranteed 2 games in the championship. I love this format. I've heard complaints both ways, but I love 2 brackets, play to the championship, get into the series. I love it. The 2-1. This one hit well in the left center field. Going back. And it's going to fall in. It's a 3-run. Right now, double, going to be a triple. Dax Newman. 2 triples in the championship series as he plates 3. And it's 8-5. Talked about it at the beginning. There's not an 8-run swing. Get guys on and come through. And the bats are alive and well for American Fork, and it's a 3-run ball game. How about Dax Newman? Talked about the triple last night, but also talked about the defensive play out in right field. When Barton had hit that moonshot, he got against the wall and pulled it in. Didn't get panicked, able to pull it in. But here comes up with bases loaded and 1 out, and delivers with a 3-run triple. And just like this one, a little bit different. Bingham in that game, we go back to that one, had 1 hit through 5 innings, exploded for 11 runs. It was Brent Boyd hit the big 3-run homer to put Bingham up for good in that one. And Taylorsville was 1 base hit away from being a 10-run ruled game. So we want to trend. Last night it was a triple from from Newman, followed up by a 2-run jack for Watts. And he's going to bunt. Gets it down. Plate to plate. Got it in time. Oh, he calls him safe! Last night we had the plate. We went back and reviewed it, and I think it was the right call here. I will give the umpire the benefit of the doubt for when Vince Francis cuts this up. We can zoom in on it. We wouldn't deal with the shadows we had last night, but he was going and then called it. Allred saying he had him. The coach trying to remind him, hey, you're good. And it's 8-6 as Newman comes in on the infield. Well, probably the fielder's choice here to Watts. So a runner on first and one out, and a 6-run third inning that's not over, which follows up, if you're just joining us, an 8-run bottom of the second. The short Beck to Applegate, 6-4-3 double play, but it's 6 runs in the third. How about the Pats from AF? A little controversy on the bunt, but we've got a ball game. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Riverton coming to the plate, leading by 2. You're watching Game 2 of the 2022 6A Championship Baseball. So bottom of the third inning, 9-1-2 due up for Riverton. Just so interesting. Well, everything that's happened here in this ball game already in the last full inning. Good grief, from the bottom of the second to the top of the third. 14 runs, 11 hits between the two teams. And remember last night was 3-2. So Cooper Hansen at the plate, the starting pitcher, looks at ball one. Was walked and scored last inning. Now ball on a strike here from Orton. He gets to come in with the clean inning. Remember, Orton came in with 2 outs and bases loaded. And the 2-1, and now 3-1. And AF pitching has not been consistent throwing strikes today. I mentioned just in the second inning, but we'll go complete game. 6 walks. And that one off the plate, so a leadoff walk. And an interesting note, of those 6 walks, only 2 haven't scored. So the top of the order we go for Riverton. As the speed up, Carson Moody. I think he was down in the bullpen helping get some pitchers ready. So Carson Moody will go to first. The speed up, Cooper Hansen. And a little pitching conference here from American Fort. And we'll be right back. So, going to keep Orton in. Just want to have a little chat with him about throwing strikes, going through the top of the order. Mac Bright, the right fielder. First time seeing Orton. A little slow breaking ball in there for called strike 1. Bright has walked and then been hit by a pitch and scored in this one. His third plate appearance. And trying to keep the speed up Carson Moody close. Not a great hit and run count, 0-1. And he hit him back-to-back times. And Rojas come out and wants to say, hey, he didn't make any attempt to get out. Always tough on the breaking ball because you're always going to say, hey, he was going to let it come through. But back-to-back at-bats, hit batsman here for Mac Bright, and essentially walked in all 3 plate appearances. All 3 innings here for Riverton. They've had the first 2 guys aboard with no outs. Why first 2 guys? Here comes Parker Goff. The infield single his last time up. He hit it off of Laycock's leg with the bases loaded. The jet was going there. Right by the freeway here. Beautiful UCCU ballpark. I mentioned Goff swung a great bat this week. Moved him from the 5 spot to the 2 spot. He and Miller swapping. It shows bunt and fouls it off. Not a bad idea with the corner back. Tyler Wade did not try that last night. Hit a solo shot for the Angels, but he always tries it. Mostly unsuccessfully this year. But no balls and 2 strikes to Parker Goff, the third baseman. A freeze on the line drive if you're the runners. And that ball up. So not holding the runner, playing behind him. Because Goff can't hit it well the other way. Trying to give Watts some room to field. And the 1-2 from Orton. Breaking ball the other way. Newman having to give chase toward the line. Going to get there. And not tagging on the play. Not going to test the arm there by Newman, but that's throw off the mark. But Carson Moody is going to stay there. So non-productive out there by Parker Goff. Nice job by Newman getting over to that ball for the first down of the inning. We talked about the first 2 guys getting aboard. But it's been followed up by the next 2 either getting out or putting out an out. As that brings up Sam Beck. All 3 at-bats have been runners in scoring position for Beck. Breaking ball, hefty swing. Hit into a fielder's choice in the first. And walked and scored last inning. But an extremely good bat here. The 0-1. Breaking ball, no. Haven't seen Beck pitch this week. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 on. Bounced it. Nice job by Rojas. Such a good catcher. So moves the count to 2-1. Good count for Beck. Barton coming up next. 2 and also good hit and run count for Coach Applegate. But with runners on first and second, probably won't see it. Breaking pitch, no. That was the same as ball 1. So it goes to 3-1. You got to feed him. Be lefty on lefty with Barton on deck, the left-handed first baseman. Double play ball in order. Good middle infield here with Ingersoll and Robinson. And the 3-1. Fastball off the handle into shallow left. And they don't have the infield fly called yet. As Ingersoll drifts into shallow left field. And Beck retired for the second out of the inning. He offered what might have been ball 4 there. Let that get in on his hands. Well, here for Orton. Her last inning, it was 2 on. And then got back-to-back outs. And then it was 8 runs. Can Barton keep the trend? Or can Orton throw the RKO and get out of here? Misses up. Barton grounded into a double play in the first. Walked last inning. But his 4th straight at bat with 2 outs and runner in scoring position. Dating back to last game. Wanted it. Good back. Good discipline. That four-seam fastball up in the zone, that had to look like a beach ball. But there was no way he was going to get to it. Two and 0. Puts it in the the right-hander box. Caden Miller on deck, and Miller is swinging a good bat in this ball game. So dangerous situation here. As Miller's on deck, he's 2 for 2 with a double, a run scored, and 2 RBIs. The 3-0. And Barton looks at strike. Now you got to put it in the box. If it's not there, let it go and get to 3-2 if you're Barton. And if you're Orton, you got to feed him. The 3-1. Missed well off the plate. And the bases are loaded. The 10th walk/hit batsman of the game. The third of this inning. And now here comes Caden Miller. Came through with a 2-run single his last time up with bases loaded. He also doubled last inning and scored. He scored twice. Ooh, big swing on the first pitch. Two outs, bases loaded, and a 0-1 count. Off speed into left field. That's going to fall in and only bring in 1. And another RBI for Caden Miller. That's 3 on the day. And the base is still loaded with Zach Edwards coming to the plate. And Zach Edwards was waiting for the championship series. We mentioned he was over for the week. A triple last night, was 2 for 3 last night. Today, just in the second inning, was walked and scored, hit a 2-run single. And this might be the day for Orton, and it is. So pitching change coming up in a 3-run ball game. Bases loaded. Zach Edwards coming to the play. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're watching the 2022 6A Championship Baseball Series. So back in the bottom of the third inning, Dusty Litster with you. Colin Fortier, now the pitcher, inheriting bases loaded and 2 outs. And he'll be facing Zach Edwards, the designated hitter. Edwards 1 for 1 with a run scored and 2 RBIs. Again, bases loaded and 2 outs. First pitch off the plate. And I don't know if he crossed up Rojas. Wanted to make sure he had everything set up. We've talked about Edwards before we went to break, but he's got 4 RBIs in the 2 games in the championship series. Just a sophomore. So 1 ball and no strikes. Space Logan worked from the windup. And missed up with the breaking ball. So now 2-0 to Edwards. Caden Allred on deck. Edwards tripled right center last night. They're shading him toward that right center gap as Rojas takes that one off the bat of Edwards. Always appreciate when I see the home plate umpire always takes care of the catcher and vice versa. One of them wears it off a foul ball. So we come back, 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's Fortier. That one got him out on his front foot. Fisher Ingersoll has it on the infield. And Fortier comes out and gets the out. But Riverton does play to run and extend their lead to 3 as we go to the top of the 4th. 3 complete. It is Riverton 9, American Fork 6. You're watching the 2022 6A Championship Series. Top of the 4th inning. And it's 9-1-2 coming up for American Fork. Just the way we started the top of the 3rd inning. So it's left fielder C.J. Mascaro. Cooper Hansen remaining in the game for Coach Applegate. And Mascaro singled and scored to get the party started in the 3rd. He takes ball 1. With a sharply hit ball to the left side. And the 1-0 fastball there. We've got a long ways to go as the 8-run 2nd inning from Riverton, followed by a 6-run 3rd for AF to follow that up, and then Riverton plating a run in the bottom half of the 3rd. We're not even to the 5th inning. Good mercy. And that one up. It was even crazier if you go through the stats. I mean, Riverton leaving a ton of guys on base. They had 10 walks or hit batsmen combined that they've gotten base runners on, as there is a walk to Mascaro, so leadoff man on to the top of the order we go. Only the 3rd walk offered by Hansen. That brings up Ryder Robinson. As Ryder Robinson, after Wednesday night, get the day off on Thursday because he had to feel like he was Craig Biggio against Farmington on Wednesday night. On Wednesday night, he grounded out to second in the 1st inning. Hit by a pitch in the 2nd, hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and hit by a pitch in the 5th. And he doesn't wear all the gear that Craig Biggio wore. Craig Biggio's son doesn't even wear all the gear that Craig Biggio wore. Oh, snap over to first. That was close. But getting back in there was Mascaro. back over. Robinson is switch hitting second baseman. Has been outstanding both on the field and at the plate. As he hits this one well in the left field. Robbins has to take that off the wall, and that kicked away from him off the angle. That's going to bring a run. No, they're going to home up at third. So a stand-up double for Ryder Robinson. And the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Fisher Ingersoll. The boys from AF can rake. And Fisher on the day, 1 for 2 with a single. Went down on strikes last inning. Easton Jones on deck, followed by Caden Carpenter. A long ways to go here for Hansen to get out of the jam. Everybody back, keeping it in front, not looking to cut down the runner at home. I think an interesting decision here from Coach Applegate. He wants the out. So runner's going to freeze on the line drive. An interesting one will be on a ground ball left side as the runner at second. And Robinson wise enough to not feel like he has to take off and get backdoored on a ground ball. That happens all the time at the high school level. The runner takes off on the ground ball to the left side and just essentially gives up the out at third. He has to see it through on the left side. 2 balls and no strikes to Ingersoll. Bender, strike 1. And the 2-1. Again, breaking piece in there for a called strike 2. Beautiful pitch. So the box count, 2-2. Worked a full count his last at bat. And the 2-2, same pitch. 3 straight breaking balls on the inner half, got him swinging. And there's 1 out. And that'll bring up Easton Jones, the third baseman. Jones had an RBI single. Carpenter on deck. And he's followed by Josh Rojas. Hansen has this one lined in the left. Gonna plate 1, gonna plate 2. As Robbins couldn't get that one cleanly. Took a high hop on him. It's a 2-run single from Easton Jones. And it's a 1-run game. A 2 RBI single for Easton Jones, his third RBI of the day. And that brings up Caden Carpenter. The go-ahead runs at the plate with 1 out. And he, too, had an RBI last inning, an RBI single. 1 for 2 on the afternoon. And that one goes the other way. Got a chance. And it's foul. Give me a little Carlton Fisk action, Caden. I had to rely on our fans who are down the line on that one. Just a long strike. Get down the line. Left field is 305. Right field is 312 down the line. The 0-1. Just able to hang on there. Wanted to offer at that breaking pitch, but held off. And the 1-1 came inside, and a ball. And that was called outside, came inside. caught a ton of the plate, but Mr. Umpire said no serve. 2-1. Good count here to Carpenter. Big swing on the outer fastball. Back to the box count, 2-2. Double play ball is in order, and a good middle infield, Applegate and Beck. Again, Rojas on deck. The 2-2. Fastball misses. And you're not out of the woods yet. You go through Carpenter, Rojas, Newman, and Watts. And Newman has a 3-run triple on the day. Stressful pitches for Cooper Hansen. Got him swinging. Beautiful pitch by Hansen. Took a little off of it. The off speed got Carpenter out in front. And he's retired for the second out of the inning. His fourth K of the day and the third swinging. And now Josh Rojas. Ooh, got to throw over, and Parton just able to scoop that. Rojas singled in the second. Took a 2-1 pitch off the back and scored last inning in the form of Sawyer Hardman, his speed-up runner. Takes ball one. Again, the go-ahead run's at the plate. Josh Rojas certainly has the power. And the 1-0 fastball got a chance, but tailing away. And Barton couldn't get to it. So strike one. Been a fun day at the ballpark. Lehigh won in extra innings. What was it? Spectacular game with Olympus in game two. I mean, it followed up a fun game one. But it was a 3-1 game at the top of the seventh inning, and Olympus plated 2 runs to force extra innings. And it was Zach Evans with an RBI single in the 8th to give Lehigh their first state championship since 1980. You think about it. Berlin Wall still had a wall up. Reagan had just taken office. And Kevin Bacon, I don't know if he'd saying just dance yet or yelled just dance. Footloose. That one's inside. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And a runner on first is Rojas going to be granted timeout. And Hansen does exactly what I believe too. If you get that late timeout, you throw the ball in your full motion. You want to hold it up. The 2-2. Fastball to left field. That's going to go against the wall. Robbins goes and gets it. Then it's a stand-up, 2-out double from Josh Rojas. And that will probably be it for Hansen as Dax Newman coming to the plate. And the go-ahead run in scoring position. So meeting at the mound. We'll be right back. You're watching the 2022 6A Championship Baseball Series. So welcome back. Carson Moody comes in for Cooper Hansen. And I thought I might have seen Owen Olson go out the left. But I might have just missaw that. So here we go. Moody comes in to face Dax Newman. And Newman looks at ball one. Newman had a 3-run triple last inning. Looks at ball two. The base open and Dax Watts on deck. Newman, the right fielder for Coach Ingersoll. First time we've seen Moody on the hill. First relief pitcher of the week for Riverton. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike to the right fielder, Newman. So Allred didn't, the dugout didn't like whatever sign they thought they threw in there. So 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs on runners on second and third. Breaking ball there, called strike 2. Big pitches coming up from Moody. Again, it's Watts on deck. Newman, the 6-hole hitter. And the 2-2 from Moody. Called strike 3. Late movement on that one. And Newman looks at it. It's a 1-run game. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Riverton coming to the plate. You're watching Game 2 of the 6A Championship Baseball Series on KSL Sports. Bottom of the 4th inning here at UCCU Ballpark. Game 2 of the 6A Championship Series. Dusty Litster with you. And we've had a fun one. 17 combined runs since the 2nd inning. 15 combined hits. And it's Caden Allred, the catcher, getting started for Riverton. As Colin Fortier got out of the jam last inning. And he starts Allred off with a ball. And this one hit well to center, but right at Caden Carpenter. And Carpenter brings it in for the first out of the inning. So it's 8-9-1 due up. 7-8-9 due up for Riverton, where they have been productive. Allred was 1 for 2. And that brings up Carson Moody. And Cooper Hansen's on deck. Moody had been the speed-up runner for Cooper Hansen. As that pitch in there for a called strike. And it goes even and a ball and a strike. Played a little optical on me because in my book I'd written down Moody's name and I thought maybe he just came straight in for Hansen because they kept the DH and Zach Edwards. But he enters for Remington Robbins as that pitch is up and the count 2-1. And a little Texas leaguer Dying Quail going to fall in. Nicely done there by Moody. If you haven't seen the movie Bull Durham, I highly recommend it. But Crash Davis gives such a great thing about One dying quail, one Texas Leaguer, one ball with eyes is the difference of being able to go to the show. And the big one there by Moody. He's going to continue to keep this offense rolling right along, and they're going to let Moody run for himself. No speed up. That brings up Cooper Hansen. So Hansen went to left field, removing Remington Robbins. And he can re-enter, but has to re-enter into his spot, so he'd be potentially relief pitcher. Imagine they have him slated and wanted to pitch him in a decisive Game 3, because he'd be the third starting pitcher they've thrown this week in that order of Nelson, Hansen, and then Robbins. And it's a 1-0 count here to Hansen. Chops this one right in front of the plate. Taken by Fortier onto first for the second out of the inning. Nice job of fielding his position by Fortier. And there's 2 outs going to the top of the order. Sometimes you always take a breath and your pitcher's a little delayed to get that ball, but not him getting it, but the throw to first. Well, obviously a different throwing motion right there, but just always as a coach, take a deep breath and I might go up the line. That brings up the right fielder, Mac Bright, with the runner in scoring position. And Bright sends this one to the center. Caden Carpenter coming on. And Carpenter's throw going to be cut off. I don't know if Rojas called it or not, but it was cut off by Watts. And it's an RBI single by Bright. Carpenter was sizing that one up. And it's an RBI single. And even after, Carpenter's still looking at it, kind of almost like a golfer hitting a 9-iron, kind of taking a read of where did it go, what did I do? As Watts cut that one off, fell off this turf that might bounce right at him. But it keeps the runner at first in Bright. And now brings up Parker Goff, the third baseman. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. And the 0-2 pitch wide. And ball 1. So a big time at bat and hit by Mac Bright. Extend the lead back to 2 for Riverton. Ooh, and slows him down with the Ephus pitch. Swung through. BYU, we had the radar up. Enjoyed seeing the spread, the fastball, the breaking ball with these guys. A 1-1. They throw over to first. Of course, Hideki Matsuzaka never threw the Ephus. No one even knows what it was. Never existed. But it certainly helped with the bidding war for the Red Sox to get him. A 1-1. And Goff fouls that one off. That was a Japanese baseball PR at its finest. Can you hear about this? Or it was a gyro pitch. I keep saying the Ephus. It was the gyro ball. And the 1-2 to Goff. Little breaking piece stays up. Daisuke Matsuzaka. They're all Hideki sometimes. I was thinking about Godzilla. Gets mixed up in my head. Thank you. Daisuke Matsuzaka. And 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on first. And it's a full count. Nice attempt to frame that by Rojas. You could frame a white wall. Someone might pay for it, but it's not exactly a piece of art. And I thought it was a good call. And Rojas still at the dugout, too, like, hey, he was out. So full count. 2 outs, runner on first. Going to be going on motion. Runner goes, and Goff fouls that one off down the line. I think he should get out of play. And we'll do it again. It's been a fun day of baseball. Yesterday and today, Championship Saturday on Labor Day weekend. If you're enjoying it wherever you're watching or stream, again, full count, 2 outs and runner on first. The runner going to go on movement. There he goes, and it's up. And Goff has walked for the second time today. Had a walk in every inning for Riverton. Almost got out of the inning without surrendering a walk in this one. But every inning has had a walk from AF pitching. That brings up Sam Beck. And again, Beck up with runners on. He and Barton continue to come up with runners on. And he hit him. I think he got him. Yeah, it did. Beck doesn't want it, but yeah, it did. Beck was trying to sell it. I love the effort from Beck. Like, no, I want to stay. And that brings up Barton with the bases loaded. And, folks, his 5th straight at bat with bases loaded and runners in scoring position, dating back to game 1 to today. Barton came up in the first, the runners on first and third. Came up in the second with bases loaded. Came up last inning with bases loaded. Or probably runner on third. And here he goes. And looks at ball 1. And in those at-bats, he hit him to a double in the first. He walked in a run in the second. Walked last inning to put runners on the corners, leading to a Caden Miller RBI single. And the 1-0 pitch from Fortier. Slows his bat down with a little off-speed pitch. The count even at a ball and a strike. Miller, a center fielder, on deck, and they'd love to get his bat to the plate. On the day, Miller is 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a run score and 2 runs scored. That's just in the second and third innings. The 1-1. Barton again. Off-speed got him. 1-2. Imagine now Rojas might go 4-seam fastball up and in. This thing is definitely elevated above the letters. Got to think catchers up, down, in, and out. Change the eye level. I'm going to go away here. The 1-2. Missed it inside and hit him. Had him rocking at the plate and plunked him and brings in a run. So Carson Moody's single leads to a run. As that brings up Caden Miller. And that's 2 runs in the inning. And that's going to bring out a visit to the mound. And I think we're going to bring in another pitcher. So Barton aboard, Caden Miller coming up. And we'll be right back. So welcome back, bottom of the fourth inning. Riverton has scored 2 runs in the inning. As Tanner Ellery going to come on to pitch to Caden Miller. I mentioned just moments ago the day that Caden's had in the second and third innings. He had 2 bats in the second. He doubled and scored, then came back up and had a 2 RBI single and scored again. And then last inning had an RBI single. Quite the day as Ellery's pitch is off the plate. Of course, Ellery had the save last night in the 3-2 win, and a spectacular play on a bunt, the squeeze play by Riverton. We got it into Rojas just in the nick of time. The 1-0 to Miller, strike 1. I'm talking about Caden Miller's been batting at second all week long. They flip he and Goff at second and 5 hole. And Miller responding wonderfully. And the 1-1 off the plate. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Fastball count here for Caden Miller. Ellery's got to feed him. He has nowhere to put him. And AF has walked in a lot of runs today. That pitch is wide, and it goes to 3-1. I mentioned the walks earlier. 13 walks today. Riverton has 11 runs. They've handed them 11 base runners. On non-defensible plays, and Riverton has 11 runs. The 3-1 comes out of the shoe tops as he should on that pitch. Swung through it, 3-1. And it goes to full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. That 2 outs, bases loaded. Runners are going to be going on movement. Working from the windup. There goes the runners. The 3-2. This is going to go into left field. That's going to bring in 3 all the way to the wall. Moving from the second spot to the 5 spot, and Caden Miller comes through big time. A 3-run double by Caden Miller. His 6th RBI today. All 14 Riverton runs, folks, with 2 outs. The only thing we missed in this inning was putting the first 2 runners on. They did not do that in this inning. They'd done it in the previous 3. But Miller has an RBI in the second, third, and fourth innings. All 3 at bats. Or probably 3 of his 4 at bats, he's driven in runs. As Zach Edwards step in and sees a called strike 1. Edwards 1 for 2 with a 2-run single and a run scored. They can pick up another run with a base hit. Goes after that one. How about this? Game 2 of the 5A championship game in extra innings, mind you, was 2 hours and 9 minutes. This game right now is at 2 hours and 9 minutes. Probably by the time I read that, it was about 2 hours and 10 minutes. But how about it? As we're in the bottom of the 4th, we still have the championship innings coming up. 5th, 6th, and 7th. Chop to the third base side. Jones with it on his way to first off the mark. And Edwards could have been tagged out by Watts. Throws it across. Bobbled at home. He's safe. Safe. And I actually got to plate the plate right. And now Edwards hung up between second and third. But the 5th run of the inning coming in. A throwing error by Jones. Pulls Watts off the bag. Miller was hung up between second and third. On the bobble throw, he was in there safely. I know all 3 times I thought the runners were safe. This time the umpire agreed. Coach Ingersoll had to have a chat, but I thought he was in there this time. And he did it again, yeah. Coach Ingersoll having the same kind of thought that Riverton had earlier on the out at home. We went to call him out and called him safe. Last time, did the same thing when Riverton was up. It was Riverton with the plate. Same deal. What a game. But a 5-run inning. As Caden Allred, who started the inning, comes to the plate. Flew out to center. And Zach Edwards at second base in scoring position. That's a called strike. The 0-1 to the right side and foul. Caden wanted it. His single today was to the right side. Singled in his second at bat in the second inning. So flew out to right, flew out to center in his other 2 at bats. As I've shared so many times, if a team's going to beat AF at all, you're going to have to score runs. Have to. They still have 3 at bats in this game. And they've scored 8 runs on their last 2 at bats. No balls and 2 strikes to the catcher, Allred. Ellery back up the middle. Carpenter coming on the charge. Only he'll have a play here at Edwards. That throw is offline. And an RBI single for the catcher, and Edwards comes in. And it's 16-8. Great piece of hitting by Allred. And the speed-up runner coming on is Easton Hicks. That brings up Carson Moody. Singled and scored in his first plate appearance of the 4th. And looks at ball 1. Crazy thing, I talk about the walks and hit batsmen for American Fork. They have 1 error. So it's not that you're booting the ball around the field, giving up free bases. That might have clipped the sleeve, but not going to draw the walk. Or hit batsman, I should say. So 2-0 to Moody. And that one behind him. It's 2. Moody's got the nerves of steel. Then we're about the fastball underneath the sleeve. That one went behind him. And it's 3 balls and no strikes. And this one misses inside. So that'll bring up the 9-hole hitter and Cooper Hansen. As Coach Applegate going to have a chat. I wonder if he's making a switch or something. Seeing a new batter maybe coming up. As he looked back, so we see number 9 came out of the dugout. Yeah, it is. It's Drake Pearsall. Drake Pearsall going to bat for Cooper Hansen. So runners on first and second and 2 outs. And Pearsall coming on to hit for Cooper Hansen, who can re-enter into that spot in the left field. 2 on, 2 out, and Ellery starts him off with a fastball and a strike. The game ending, well, potentially. The 10th run and the 10th lead is at first base. Think about this. If they were to plate the runner at first and put up a, well, that's null and void. That ball lifted into the infield. Ryder Robinson is there for the 3rd out of the inning, but a 7-run 4th for Riverton. My, oh my, what a game. We go to the top of the 5th innings, meaning to the championship innings here. With American Fork coming to the plate, trailing 16-8. You're watching Game 2 of the 6A Championship Series on KSL Sports. And welcome back into UCCU Ballpark. Dusty Lister with you of Game Night Live Rewind. It's always brought to you by Heidemann and Associates and Western Governors University. What a game here in Game 2. Last night, we had 5 combined runs. It was a 3-2 win for American Fork in Game 1. Game 2, 24 combined runs through 4 complete innings. Unreal. The 8X'd it. No, never mind. I take that back. Bad math. It's Carbon County math there. Nearly 5X'd it, but, you know. We had a ball come out on the field. So got taken care of. And starting getting off is Dax Watts. It's 7-8-9 due up for American Fork. Interestingly enough, for American Fork, there's only 3 spots where they haven't, 3 runners that have not scored. And I'm not sure what the conversation here is. Riverton's asking umpires to convene on something, and Watts is due up. Oh, no pitch on the throw. I'm not sure what else it could be. Yeah, we can see if we can get down to talk to an official between innings, but we'll see if it matters here. As Dax Watts starts this one off with a breaking ball for strike 1 from Carson Moody. Watts flew out to second, hit into a fielder's choice back in the 3rd. Only people not to score for AF as Watts lifts this one into shallow left field. Beck going out. 3 others coming in, and how about that, Beck? That's a long ways for the shortstop to go, and that was a long ways as Miller was shading toward right center. And this is where you see the shaping of the fence. How it just makes so much ground between everything. As Beck able to get back out there and make the catch. Very difficult one there, and one away. But the only 3 Cavemen that not scored today is Watts, Andrews, and Fisher Ingersoll. The only 2 not to be on base today, the only person not to be on base today is Davis Andrews at the plate. Conversely, every single Riverton batter has scored today. And this ball hit well to center field. Caden Miller goes back to get it. Hit on the screws by Davis Andrews, but right at Caden Miller. Well, not right at. Caden Miller able to go get it. He had to hit it through the deepest part of the ballpark. That goes to left field. Is sitting in the pond. And now it brings up C.J. Mascaro. They have Mascaro, the 9-hitter. They get Bridge to the top of the order. Spells good things. Faced the same situation in the 3rd that started the whole run. Oh, pardon me, he led off the 3rd inning. And this one to the left side. Sam Beck with it on his way to first. In time, Sam Beck. And for the first time today, AF retired in order. 1-2-3 inning as we go to the bottom of the fifth. You are watching Game 2 of the 6A Championship Baseball Series on KSL Sports. Bottom of the fifth inning, top of the order for Riverton, and Mac Bright looks at strike one. How about the day for Bright? Well, this game 2, walked in the first inning, was hit and scored in the second, was hit in the third and left on third, and had an RBI single last inning and scored a run. But if Riverton plates 2 runs, this game 2 is over. They will 10-run American Fort and force a game 3. I want to say a third game. Please blend them. Game 3. Vince Francis is always good to pick you up. So, on the mound now is Boston Star trying to keep Riverton right here at 16 runs. That one's bounced. As we gave you the note on that 0-3 championship game, Bingham and Taylorsville. Taylorsville was 2 outs away from 10-running Bingham in that one before Bingham came back and won it. And this one hit well in the center. Carpenter still retreats, and it's going to get behind him. That's going to go all the way to the deepest part of the ballpark. Carpenter tracks it down, and it will be a leadoff stand-up triple for Mac Bright. That ball must have had some movement as Carpenter was taking a normal trail back, and it just kept going. He mentions 427 to that left center peak there. That ball got all the way to the wall, and the game-ending run now comes to the plate in the form of Parker Goff. As Goff fouls that one off. Goff walked in the first, had an RBI single off the leg of Laycock, the starting pitcher, in the second. Flew out to right in the third, walked and scored last inning. But the fifth pitcher in for Coach Ingersoll, he's got to keep everybody around 35 pitches. If they throw 35 or less, they can come back in game 3 if there is one. So he needs to keep his pitching staff alive and not burn them, because they can throw 75 pitches within 2 games without having to have a rest. So now no balls and 2 strikes to Goff. Took a lot off that one. Mercy swung through it for strike 3. Oh, there's the ephus. Goff just open. He's just kind of lobbing it. Reminds you of the Angels-Rays game when Anthony Rendon got up left-handed and hit a 2-run home run this year. As Sam Beck now comes to the plate. Again with the runner on third. And tell you what, just get up and throw strikes, man. Boston Star not trying to do too much with it. As Beck swung through strike 1, looks at strike 2. The 0-2 pitch to Beck is wide of the plate. Had one to burn there. Again, Mac Bright with the leadoff triple. Standing on third base with 1 out. Going to freeze on a line drive. And they have to looking for the out. Beck goes the other way with it. It's going to get down. And that's going to crawl or go into foul territory. As Beck's going to walk into second. An RBI double for Sam Beck. He's got to feel good to finally come through with the runner in scoring position. I don't mean that negatively, but he's seen that a number of times, and it continues to streak now for Tyler Barton. From the 7th inning through this at-bat, Barton has gotten up with a runner in scoring position in every single at-bat. It's his 6th straight at-bat with a runner in scoring position. As he fouls this one back to the screen. And the game-ending run is at second base. If Beck scores, we will have a game 3 and will not go to the 6th inning. Ooh, just missed. Barton lifts this one into foul territory on the third base side. Got a chance. Easton Jones is there to pull it in. And now 2 outs. And that brings up Caden Miller. As Caden comes to the plate, 6 RBIs today. And he scored 3 runs today. And he can end the game with a base hit. Looks at strike 1. The 0-1 from Stars wide. So a ball and a strike here to Caden Miller. And again, wide of the plate. Rojas going to have a little chat. Again, go recap Caden's day in the 2nd inning. It was a leadoff double, and he scored a run. He came back up in the 2nd inning with a 2-run single and scored a run. In the 3rd inning, he hit an RBI single. And then last inning, hit a 3-run double on a full count pitch when everybody was running. Oh, and scored a run. The 2-1. Beck going to take 3rd. And now the game-ending run's just 90 feet away. With a 3-1 count to Caden Miller. So 3-1, 2 outs, runner on 3rd. And Miller has this one to Ingersoll, got him. And a run's going to come in. And game 2 goes the way of Riverton. And there will be a game 3. 7 RBIs for Caden Miller in game 2. And we will see you this afternoon in about 30 minutes. What a day. Well, what a game for Caden Miller. Ingersoll has a tough play at short. And that will do it. 18-8 in game 2. Riverton over AF. As that is the first championship game win in the history of Riverton baseball. And we will go to a winner-take-all game 3. Our Heidemann Associates player of the game, no doubt, Caden Miller, 7 RBIs, leading the way for Riverton in a crazy, crazy game. Scored 18 runs between the 2nd and 5th inning. Absolutely unreal. We go to game 3. We'll be back in about 30 minutes. For Vince Francis, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching game 2. Game 3 coming up. The stream will start in about 25 minutes. And you are watching the 2022 6A Championship Baseball Series on KSLSports.com, your home for online championships. Brought to you by Heidemann Associates and Western Governors University.